conference play. We did the national anthem before the first game, so let's go ahead and meet the starters for Seattle Pacific. A 6'4" sophomore, number 1 is Zach Paulson. A 6'1" sophomore, number 2, Sion Blackman. A 5'10" sophomore, number 10, Maui Z. A 6'9" freshman, number 14 is Trace Evans. And the 6'6" junior, number 24 is Shaw Anderson. Grant Leap is your head coach, assisted by Kepri, Fazio, David Troy, and George Parker.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside Marcus Pavilion on the campus of St. Martin's University. Sean Wally with Scott Gladstone, the second of 2 games here in Lacey in the GNAC, the Great Northwest Athletic Conference, as we get set for St. Martin's hosting Seattle Pacific.
Yeah, this is a match that we look forward to all year once this conference started to figure itself out. This is number 3 versus number 2 in the conference as it stands right now. Really almost a defective battle for a bye possibly in the tournament in Bellingham.
You know, MSU Billings is watching this one as both these teams right on the heels of the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, MSU Billings will come into this house into a ferocious, I think, atmosphere on Saturday night. But this is a big one.
A good start for Seattle Pacific. The 3-ball dropped by Z. A quick 3-0 lead, 32 seconds gone by. Saints 18-4 overall, 10-2 in conference. Seattle Pacific 14-8, 9-4. As you said, Scott, number 2 and number 3 in the conference. Bunn to answer, and does.
Get ready to see some threes. Both these sides can shoot the rock pretty well.
Seattle Pacific had a rough late January. They dropped 3 in a row, but they did rebound last weekend with a victory. All tied at 3. Stepping on the end line is Z. That'll turn it over back to St. Martin's.
Yeah, Seattle Pacific from behind the arc, they shoot 41%. St. Martin's going to shoot 38% coming in. Both sides can shoot the rock, and that's why it makes sense that we're a minute and a half in, and all we've got is 2 threes.
Greeley behind the back dribble. Now into the lane. Left side, picks up the dribble, nowhere to go. He'll go straight up, off iron. Right to the hands of the Falcons. 18 to go in half number 1. 2 20-minute halves. Backing down on Al Cinder. The little skyhook is good. Evans makes it a 5-3 game.
Wow.
Skinny answers. We're tied at 5.
That was put the floater right there. That was kind of an awkward off-balance shot that rolled off the fingertips in a weird way, but, man, got it to go.
Z, another 3. This one off iron. He tracks down his own rebound. Bunn also there with it. Bodies on Twin Star Credit Union court, and a foul is called.
Yeah, a little too aggressive there to get that rebound. As soon as you realize it's not yours, you got to lay off or else you pick up a foul call there, which is exactly what happened to the Falcons.
The foul's on Trace Evans. Alcindor checks out, and Stokes seeing his first action for St. Martin's. Nielsen Skinner. Stokes was open. Bunn wide open in front of the SPU bench. That 3 is short. Stokes the rebound. Back to Bunn. Bunn the spin. Finds Greeley, but an offensive foul called on Brandon Bunn.
That was a great job standing in to take that charge. I'm pretty sure that was Zach Paulson there that enticed Bunn into running him over. Took a hard hit, but he just stood, and as soon as he felt enough contact to go back, that's exactly what he did. Got the offensive foul and the turnover that prevented a bucket.
All tied at 5 here inside Marcus Pavilion. Falcons trying to get the lead back. A 3 out of the corner. Off the front of the rim. The miss by Zach Paulson. Ball out of bounds. Last touch by St. Martin's. Good to see Christy Martin and the St. Martin's women's basketball team that was just victorious earlier before this game. They are sticking around to cheer on the men tonight.
Yeah, it was a big win for them. 20-point victory over a good Simon Fraser squad. St. Martin's women have had a lot of injury problems this season, so that was a fun one to watch. Always good to see them succeed, break up their 3-game losing streak. And, you know, there's something when there's a doubleheader of basketball, I think there's always something that kind of is unwritten about the momentum that you can get from your women team winning game number 1. Or whoever is game number 1 winning that first game to try and, get the school spirit going positively.
And the family aspect of, hey, we got to go watch our brothers, watch our sisters.
Yep.
Bunn falls down. Paulson, the 3. He connects. It's 8-5 Falcons.
Did a little stare down to the student section as he walked down as well. More than happy to do a little showing off in front of this great Thursday night crowd.
Skinny, right side of the lane. Somehow gets it up and in. 8-7. Saints down 1.
Yeah, I mean, Skinny usually plays guys that are a couple inches taller than him, the lower 6-foot range. And so when he gets a matchup against a guy that's listed as an inch shorter than him, he'll post him right up and pull a nice move on him.
Down low quickly to Shaw Anderson, his first points of the evening. 4 minutes gone by on this one. 10-7 SPU. Skinny to the rack high off the glass.
I don't know what Skinny's vengeance against SPU is, but he's just been more than fearless in terms of taking it to the rack and more than happy to try and score himself when a lot of times he's more of a facilitator.
Open 3 for the Falcons. Knocking it down is Blackman. 13-9 SPU. Nielsen Skinner thought about the jumper from the elbow. Instead, backs all the way out.
Stokes has had Z on him there. They should have attacked that a little bit harder.
Bunn the rebound. Stokes open in front of the SPU bench. That is a triple. 1-point ball game.
Everybody on the floor right now for St. Martin's can shoot the 3-ball and shoot it well. And that's pretty much the MO for the St. Martin squad.
Evans with Stokes on him. SPU swings it around. Paulson baseline outside. Blackman 3 on the way. That rims out. Battle for the basketball. Stokes collects it from Evans. Greeley. 14:35 left. Greeley going strong. Left side of the lane. Jumper down. Saints back in front.
First lead of the game for St. Martin's on that one. Not the first lead of the game? Let me double check here. Yeah, that was their first lead right there. So good for them to take charge and doing exactly what you should do when you're guarded by a really good offensive player. And Shaw Anderson, as soon as Greeley realized he had that matchup, he just locked in, said, let me work you on the defensive side that can maybe take something off your offense.
Evans explodes the right side of the lane, gets by Stokes. Falcons back up 15-14. Bunn lets a three fly. Off iron, Stokes, the offensive board. Reset for St. Martin's. 15 on the shot clock. Greeley in front of the Falcon bench. 10 to shoot. He will. Short. Falcons the other way. They're up 1.
Greeley just didn't get the arc on that shot that he wanted. I think it just kind of came off a little bit awkward. Was trying to show up Evans by hitting it in the big man's face, but just maybe overthought the shot a little bit.
Paulson, baseline, quickly double teamed. Z open for 3. Awkward rotation, and it caromed off the right side. Skinny behind the back dribble. Brandon Bunn back out top. 12 to shoot for the Saints. Bunn, the 3, short. But there's Sipe. His putback won't go. Ball loose. Picked up by Greeley. .12:35 left in the first half. Timeout on the floor. 15-14 SPU by 1. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. Back here in Marcus Pavilion on the campus of St. Martin's University after the timeout. It is Saints basketball. They trail by 1. Sean Wally, Scott Gladstone. Saints basketball. Skinny. Falcons a 1-point lead. They have the ball back. Z with it. Shaw Anderson working on Thompson. Spins. Outside open is Paulson. His long 2 is good. It's a 3-point game. Nielsen Skinner to Spencer. Spencer gets it back. Hafner's 3 off iron. Falcons, a 3-point lead and the basketball.
Saints are rushing their shots a little bit, it felt like. Christian Hafner did not have a great opportunity there. I mean, he just knuckled it. He handled it too quickly, and it leads to a basket on the other end. Now they're down 5.
19-14 after the basket by the Falcons. Back come the Saints. Skinny left-hand dribble. Open, a long 3 on the way. Off the back iron, offensive rebound to St. Martin's. Nielsen Skinner. Tyke Thompson on the left block. Spins baseline, floater is short. Rebound to the Falcons with a 5-point lead.
Great defense by Zach Paulson there to man up the bigger Tyke Thompson and force him into a miss.
Like some steps there in the corner by Paulson, but no whistle. Into the lane, count the bucket by Shaw Anderson. Possible 3-point play. .10:31 left in the first half. Timeout on the floor. All things going well so far for the Falcons. Up 21-14 on the Saints Digital Network. Ruse or Rouse? .10:31 left in the first half here in Lacey, Washington. Sean Wally, Scott Gladstone, Seattle Pacific after the timeout. At the line, Shaw Anderson completes the 3-point play. 22-14, Falcons their largest lead of the game. Scott, they're coming out blazing, scoring field goals at a 69% clip.
Yeah, they're doing really well offensively, but I think what's impressed me more is their defense. They're just allowing the Saints to kind of shoot contested shots. And when you're making contested shots on your own side, then it's turning out pretty well.
Saints to inbound. That's Nielsen Skinner baseline. He'll do the honors. Thompson misses. Shooting not there so far in the first half for the Saints.
Yeah, and this is the downside of being the team that's really reliant on threes. You kind of hit a cold spell, which they're on right now, and next thing you know, you're scoreless in over 4 minutes, which is unheard of for the Saints.
No foul called as Paulson hits the deck, but now they're calling him for a flop. The 3 was made. Basket going to count or no?
The basket will count. I don't know. I didn't see what Zach Paulson if he was doing or saying anything down there. But that's something where that's a tough call to get against him because he's not going down without getting some contact there. And this is where, I haven't talked about the flop and roll in a while because it hasn't come up in a key moment. But this is kind of a key moment. They're on a run right now, Seattle Pacific is. And to kind of stop it here, unless Paulson came up and was – saying anything to the official or asking it or looking at him, really trying to get a foul call there, then, I don't like that call because sometimes you get some contact and it's the safest thing to do is go down and, allow yourself to just take the contact like that rather than fighting to stay up and possibly hurting yourself worse. So if that was all it is, that's a tough call against SPU.
Aaron Landon wants to talk things over with the Saints. Takes a timeout, 9:56 left in the first. Falcons by 10. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. .9:56 left in the first half. Saints with the ball down 9. Sean Wally, Scott Gladstone with you in this big GNAC battle. 3 on the way from St. Martin's top. It's missed yet again. Spencer could not connect. Saints shooting just 2 of 11 from 3.
That's a really worrisome mark right now for the Saints. They got to have really good defense here to keep SPU close, that when they get through this shooting woes, which they probably will at some point, that they are able to have the game within reach at that point.
Spencer the rebound. St. Martin's needs a bucket. They have not scored until now, but prior to that was 14:30 left.
Yeah, and that was Christian Hafner. He's the guy to come through to get you out of shooting woes. I mean, he really is the spot-up shooter on this team, and a big bucket for him, much needed for the Saints. And, you know, they held together defensively with some reason there. They make that shot. It's only a 2-possession game. They're just down 6.
Rouse spins, and then he finds Alcindor. That's not what you want to find. 4 to shoot for the Falcons. No foul called on the bump. Shot pops out of the rim. Alcindor the rebound. 8:35 left, first half.
Yeah, you mentioned it really well, but I mean, Shaquem Alcindor was so good defensively that possession. He just kept it in the key and prevented anything from happening.
Skinny, the contact, off glass. Count it. Possible three-point play. Saints within 4.
I mean, every time Skinny drives to the basket and makes a play near the rim, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I don't even if Skinny had like the body of Shaquem or something like that, I don't know if he'd be better or worse, because it seems like Skinny can use his smaller size to his advantage so much. I mean, you know, he enticed that foul. Shaquem's probably not getting a foul there. He'll go up and get the bucket, but it's this really interesting juxtaposition between these two players that can both play inside the key so well, but obviously with such different body types.
Wide open for 3. Evans, no, off iron. Rebound to Champ Spencer and the Saints. They can tie it with a 3 or an and 1 possibility. Skinny, nowhere to go. The tie is there. Hafner answers the bell.
10-0, just like that, and it started with that flopping call. That really kind of, I think, took the wind out of the sails, and that's why I say that's a big call. You're making it. It's just 1 free throw. It's just 1 bucket, but it is a huge call, and the Saints turn it around.
Skinny had that, lost the turnover. Blackman finds the open man under the bucket. That is Trace Evans, 26-24 SPU, back up.
That was a beautiful pass. That was all Blackman. Trace Evans is going to get the points for it, but they really belong to Blackman, because that was a terrific find.
Sipe to Nielsen Skinner. The fake, 1 dribble, the 3, no. Rebound to SPU. Z off and running. 3 from the Falcons, rims out. The miss by Shaw Anderson. Saints try to answer a 3 of their own. Spencer, no. Falcons slow it down.
Both of those threes were just so hard. First from Shaw Anderson, nearly got that one to go. That was a really tough off balance, going from full speed to set your feet, shoot that shot, and then the other way, Champ Spencer, I mean, that's a catch from a cross-court pass and try and release and shoot it, and he nearly got that.
Good hands there by Spencer. Alcindor had it, but it's poked away. Blackman, jumper, rattles home. 4-point advantage for Seattle Pacific.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one for Aaron Landon, too, because that was a really good play from Shaquem Alcindor. He got that ball. Thing is, when you're a big, you have so much area to have to dribble it to the ground that it's so much easier to steal, and that's just what happened to Shaquem.
Skinny using his speed. 7 to shoot. He will. Looks good, but it's off back iron. Alcindor tries for it, taps it out of bounds. It'll be Falcon ball. 5:54 left in the first half. Timeout on the floor. Falcons 28, Saints 24. Back to Lacey after this on the Saints Digital Network. Back here inside Marcus Pavilion on the campus of St. Martin's University. Sean Wally with Scott Gladstone. And Scott, I'm scratching my head. I'm looking at these numbers so far in the first half. I don't see how the Saints are in this ball game.
Yeah, I mean, the only number that I've seen that's going in their direction is offensive rebounding, which is 5-2. That's not an enormous number, but the second chance points, the Saints are, doing something off of maybe. I mean, that's really when it comes down to it. The SMU bench has played a lot better than SPU's bench, but that doesn't necessarily mean the Saints should be as in this game as they are.
I mean, shooting alone, 60% to 36% in favor of the Falcons. And there's a miss on a long three, rebounds to St. Martin's. Hafner ahead to Skinny. Skinny in the lane. He's fouled and almost made the shot.
That would have been a full flex your muscles moment. I mean, Skinny, man, this is kind of his game right now. He's really controlling it. It's going through him, and he's going to get 2 shots at the line now, and he's quite a good free throw shooter as he shoots 75% from the line, which is third or so on the team. At least third amongst players that shoot a good amount of free throws.
28-25 Falcons. Who wants the chance to catch MSUB? Yellow Jackets have been tops in the conference pretty much the entire season. And they will be here on Saturday. Saints hoping to win this one to have a big matchup Saturday night. Double team in the corner. Cross court, Blackman with it. To the lane. A charge is called as Blackman tries to run through the Saints. Officials say not this time.
That's what makes Hunter Sipes so good. As soon as he saw that pump fake from Blackman and then the drop to that right hand, he knew that Blackman was going to go to that rim and try and score a bucket no matter who was in his way. So Hunter Sipes got to his mark, made sure his heels were outside of the charge circle, and then just set up there, sat up there, and took the hit. And, there's no way that that's going to get called anything else than a textbook charge.
Thompson, the spin to the center, right to the cup. It's a 1-point ball game.
You mentioned that possible 1-2 first place square off that we could have on Saturday night. Right now, MSUB down 31-29 at half to Western Oregon.
Well, we know the Western Oregon program well, and West Pfeiffer's going to have that team ready to play. They've had some injury issues there in Monmouth, but their team will be prepared, no doubt.
Yeah, good thing for them. Glad to see that Keont Myers is back in the lineup. He was out last Saturday in the SMU win over Western Oregon with the injury that he picked up at the end of the Western Washington game. That was a great move by Z.
30-27 Falcons. Greeley, the right block, bumps into the lane. Turnaround floater is good. 30-29 Falcons.
Yeah, right now we're seeing a lot of guys that don't usually use post-up moves that are getting things that they feel are mismatches. That was right there. I think that was Greeley being guarded by Paulson. He said, I can take you to the rack, do a nice little turnaround. We saw Tyke Thompson in possession before. He did a nice turnaround, but Shaw Anderson also can go to the rack.
I thought that Thompson was going to swap that until Anderson went to the opposite side of the rim. 3:30 left in the first half in a fun, fast-paced first 16 and a half minutes. Nice pass. Tyke Thompson bumped, fouled, counted. How did he see that?
That's sorcery on that ball, man. I mean, that was just incredible vision from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. He somehow got that ball right into the hands of Tyke Thompson for an easy 2, possibly 3 when we come back.
3:21 left. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network.
Bring your ticket from today's game to our Blunders between now and next Tuesday, which is, of course, Valentine's Day. You can get a 10% discount on food and drinks. And stick around at halftime for the Saints Triple Threat presented by Alarm.
3:21 left in the first half here in Lacey, Washington, in this Great Northwest Athletic Conference battle between the currently number 2 ranked in the conference, St. Martin Saints, number 3, Seattle Pacific Falcons. Falcons a 1-point lead, 32-31. Sean Wally with Scott Gladstone. Sydney, our producer, Zane, our photographer, Tyke Thompson to tie the ball game. And he does.
St. Martin's hanging in there somehow. Smart plays here, smart plays there. They've gone on a few long scoreless droughts, but it has been defense really that has kept it in them. And, a couple open shots missed by SPU that has allowed St. Martin to still be tied in this game.
Z directing traffic for the Falcons. He'll pop a 3. Off back rim, rebound to Nielsen-Skinner. He's blazing. Doesn't have numbers. Doesn't care. Finally picks up the dribble. Kyle Greeley. Greeley loses it. Gets it back. Greeley in the lane. Nowhere to go. The fadeaway. Splash. Saints back in front.
Man. If he's on that shot, and here's the difference that the Saints have made over the last couple possessions. I'm sure head coach Aaron Land had said something to them. You got to just lay off the threes right now. And they've backed off the threes. They've just worked it inside, and that has worked really well against this SPU squad.
Rouse is fouled. And the native of right here in Lacey, Washington from Timberline High School will head to the free throw line. Foul on Christian Hafner of St. Martin's. Timberline, a great high school basketball program. They're in the playoffs on Saturday night, right along with our big game. They have a big playoff crosstown rivalry with North Thurston, so that'll be a big one. Be a lot of basketball being played Saturday night in town.
A lot of big matchups. Hopefully, I don't know what time that game is at.
6.
Oh, it's 6? Oh, so somebody can come go watch the first half of that one, hop over here. I mean, they can watch most of that game. This is 7:30 tip here.
Greeley the rebound. Inside 2 minutes left in the first half. Saints somehow a 1-point lead. Nice spin by Thompson. Finger rolling in.
That as soon as you get that matchup, Tyke Thompson being guarded by the 5'10 Maui Z, like there's no stopping that. They got to bring better help defense if you're Seattle Pacific, and you recognize that mismatch down low.
Offensive foul called as Skinny got nearly ran over by Clayton Whitman.
Yeah. Clayton Whitman there, just a little careless on the handoff. He kind of popped out the opposing arm, and Skinny got popped kind of in the face, shoulder, somewhere there. Sold it well, got the call. Saints up 3 now with a minute and a half to go.
Kyle Greeley.
They're getting that mismatch up again. You see it right here. They got the switch on the screen, and
Greeley right to the glass. Ball, meet glass, meet hoop. 5-point lead for the Saints.
And I think that worked out well. They gave it to Tyke Thompson really quick, and everybody on SPU was keying in. They're trying to get it to Tyke Thompson with the matchup on Z, and there's a pickpocket.
Nielsen Skinner, the easy layup. Saints exploding heading into halftime.
That was just Shaw Anderson careless. You got to call out. If you're his teammate or if you're his bench, you got to call out. He's running up behind you. He's running up behind you. And right there, that was just an incredibly smart, savvy play by Skinny to just run up, steal the pocket, pick the pocket, and lay it in.
Saints by 7. Make that 5. Shaw Anderson, the jam.
Yeah, he made up for it right there, didn't he? This crowd's going to love it if we see a buzzer beater going in the locker room.
Final 12 seconds of the half. St. Martin's by 5. Outside, the long 3 is down. Christian Hafner ends the half to ignite the crowd.
That was that. He was on the Twin Star logo, maybe even further. That was a great way to finish the half. Shaw Anderson maybe given the momentum to SPU going into the locker room. He had that big dunk, silenced the crowd. And like I said, when you got a home team that is cooking going into the locker room, that's deflating if you're SPU. And right now, head coach Grandley has to find a way, find the right things to say to his troops to rally them, to respond from that punch in the mouth that they just took and bring them out heavy here at the start of the second in a few minutes.
Halftime here in Lacey. First 20 minutes. Saints up 43-35 over the Falcons. Enjoy the halftime show. Take a break, grab a snack, refill your beverage. We'll be back in about 13 minutes. Get you started for half number 2 here on the Saints Digital Network.
This competition is all about being good at multiple sports because all games are always on at the Barn and Irish Pub. Here's how it works. Contestants will need to make one basket, first shot from the three-point line, then the free throw line, then layups after that. After they make their shot and move to soccer, they need to make one goal starting from midcourt to move in if they miss. Finally, they'll head over to the football station where they need to hit the sign with the pass. Our contestants look like they're ready in our first round. Jarrell versus Ryan. We have 6.
Matt Gladstone here, Assistant Director of Athletics and Communications, and I'm with Alana Carsons, who was named the GNAC Cross Country Freshman of the Year, as well as an NCAA qualifier. Alana, first of all, thanks for joining me. Great to have you in. I know you have a busy schedule with cross country going into indoor track and field, going outdoor, but thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
So let's first off talk about what brought you to St. Martin's University. Obviously, you're fairly close, but why the Saints?
Well, I really liked how Division II really focused on academics with athletics. I feel like Division I is a lot of the times like really focused like with athletics, and I felt like I would get a really good quality education here. I also love having my family close by. It's really nice to have that support and, you know, go home for like a home cooked meal, you know, whenever. But also, like, I had trust in the training program here. I think Coach Matt did an awesome job with all our workouts, and you got to have that trust in your coach if you're going to do well.
So when you showed up to St. Martin's in the fall for the first time, talk to me about kind of your experience, you know, interacting with the returners, meeting all the other newbies, and kind of what was that experience like, especially for the first part, especially because you go right into your season in cross country?
Yeah, the team was super encouraging. I was a little nervous about all the distance we were going to do at first, and, you know, my first very workout, I wasn't like I was kind of like in the back, and they just kept saying like these encouraging words, and it really made me feel like I belonged here, and I knew they would uplift me and help me go the distance. So yeah.
Obviously, we'll talk more about your individual success, but the team also had a lot of success both on the med side and then the women's side as well.
Yeah.
At the GNAC, you know, you guys put together a total team performance, because that's what it takes in cross country. It takes everybody to kind of bring up the numbers. So talk to me about, first of all, you know, you had your great individual achievement at GNACs, but realizing the team had done so well and put it all together.
Yeah, every girl stepped up, you know, and that was really cool to see how we could all come together and represent St. Martin's in such a great way. And it was kind of like, we knew it was going to happen. We knew that summer training paid off. We knew we put in the work, and it was really just about believing in one another and lifting each other up that got us to that point. So.
Then you guys go to regionals, and the thing about regionals is I saw pictures. It looked like there was snow. It looked like it was cold.
Yeah.
A lot of people wearing gloves. What is it like racing in those different conditions when it's so cold,
Yeah.
but you know the potential of yourself and of your team based off GNACs?
You got to put all those factors aside and really focus on like what you did to get there. Know yourself and know that your hard work paid off, and that's just going to carry with you throughout like the race. And so we were trying not to focus on the weather. We talked a lot about gratitude, you know, noticing what was going well, like we had safe travels, we had really good food the night before, and we had each other. So yeah, just focusing on gratitude really helped us get our mind off like the weather conditions and perform well. So.
And then, of course, after regionals, there's a little bit of a dead period before they announce the individual qualifiers for the NCAA. In that dead time, did you know that it was a possibility, like, or were you kind of like, okay, moving on to indoor track and field coming up, and or like, what was your that experience with that dead period?
I was gonna be happy either way. I kept telling myself it was important to realize my like progress over perfection. So celebrating my little accomplishments throughout the way and the team's accomplishments, so I wouldn't get discouraged if I didn't make nationals, and I still would be happy and you know, perform really well if I had to go straight into indoor. But yeah, it was really hard to be patient in that time, and when I did figure out the news, I just was so overwhelmed with happiness, and it's exactly what I wanted, but I wasn't going to be discouraged if that didn't happen, because I know that I still have like, I'm only a freshman, so I knew if it wasn't my time, it wasn't my time.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a big part of what made it so cool. One, that you're a freshman, and then two, the national championships was in Seattle, and so it was kind of right up the road. Members of the St. Martin's community got to come and support you. You know, you had your team there, your coaches there, everybody. So for you, like just tell me about that experience of competing in Seattle and getting to rep St. Martin's.
Well, the course is the course I actually got to compete on in high school. So having that experience was awesome. I felt really at home, and I just feel like it was kind of meant to happen, you know? Like, I've already been there. I'm so close. Like, everything just kind of fell in place. And yeah, getting a good night's like sleep before, you know, I didn't really have to do all that traveling other teams did. So that was kind of reassuring, knowing that I had like the proper rest and recovery time in between like regionals and nationals, and I just didn't have all the extra like stress factors some other teams had.
So you mentioned getting a good night's sleep. What are your other kind of pre-meet rituals before you have to race? What do you make sure to do?
I make sure everything is kind of like in place, so like stretching, ice bath, checking with the trainers, and like I said before, gratitude is just a big part of like my daily routine, and so I make sure to always focus on what's good before the race, so I go in with a positive mindset.
Do you listen to music before races?
Oh.
What's your kind of go-to bump?
Yeah, I love music. I have a really hard time, like, I always have like different favorite songs, so I can never like pinpoint. Let's see. I can't think of a favorite song.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're speaking to possibly like a future SMU runner coming in, or just anybody starting their freshman year running cross country, what advice do you have to, like, what helped you be successful in that early part of your career, that coming in the first year and, you know, kind of splashing onto the scene? What do you think is kind of a good piece of advice for a newbie?
Focusing on the day-to-day stuff, like all the little things. So doing your strength routine, doing your warm-ups. A lot of the times, it's easy to skip over, you know, those little things like warm-ups. And so, just staying focused, and the little work will go a long ways. So, yeah.
And finally, you know, of course, we talked about, you know, some of that individual success and some team success. When you look ahead at the rest of your college career, what are some of those goals that you have for yourself, to take what you did last year and say, you know, improve every day, and how do you see success in the upcoming years?
Now that I know, like, qualifying for nationals this year really gave me perspective in what I can do in the upcoming years, and I really do want to be like an All-American at one point, but I know that takes some work to get there. But that's my long-term goal, and I think it is possible because everything that happened this year just kind of like pushed me forward in what's to come. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Alana, and good luck in the track and field season.
Awesome. Thank you.
Back here in Lacey, Washington, St. Martin's University, inside Marcus Pavilion as we get set for half number 2 to kick off. Scott, have you put your investigator hat on, looking at the numbers? How are the Saints up 43-35 over Seattle Pacific?
Yeah, it's a little bit better than the first time you asked me. They've started to make more shots. The percentage is still a little bit lower. I mean, I I theorized that maybe it was second chance points that brought the Saints back in it, but I'll tell you what, I think the biggest disparity right now is the bench points. SPU, non-starters, have scored 3 total points. For St. Martin's, it's at 20 total points. You see Stokes with 3, Tyke Thompson with 7, Christian Hafner coming off the bench. He hit that buzzer beater right at the end of the first half, and he has 10. So it's those are where the 20 points are from on the St. Martin side off of the bench. And I'll tell you what, that's what it is with depth right now. St. Martin's, the reason why they're one of the 2 teams atop this conference is because of the depth of this squad. If one guy goes down and one guy has an off shooting night, the starters are having an off shooting night, it seems, then you still can turn around and say, well, Tyke, get in there, post up a smaller guy, bust a move. Christian Hafner, go in there, set a 3, hit a 3, calm things down, and whatever it is. And at the end of the day, for as bad as it seemed like the Saints shot in that first half, they did shoot 28% of the field, which is really low for them, but they shot, or from the three-point line, they shot 28%. From the field, they shot 50%. So they just went down to the low block, bust a couple post moves, a couple fadeaways. Next thing you know, they're up by 8 as we start the second.
Falcons begin with the basketball. Falcons have really good coaches on their bench, as the Saints do as well. Grant Leap, of course, the head coach at SPU. Kefri Fazio is the head assistant coach. 3 ball to start. No, off back iron, rebound to the Saints, but then thrown away by Hunter Sipe.
Yeah, Hunter Sipe was going out of bounds there, so he tried to whip that one real quick to Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, and Skinny, I think, was expecting more of a curveball when it was a fastball.
Bunn, Skinny, Sipe, Alcindor, and Greeley on the floor to start the half for St. Martin's. Jumper is good, and the foul. Paulson will start with a potential 3-point play for the Falcons.
Yeah, and the reason that he backed out of that drive was not because he was worried that Hunter Sipe was going to block him. That was almost going to be a carbon copy of the charge that Hunter Sipe took in that first half. That was a huge call and a huge play by Hunter Sipe. So he backed out, stepped back, enticed Sipe to come out and guard him. And then as soon as he took that slap on the wrist, he flushed it down.
Paulson converts, 43-38 St. Martin's. Nielsen-Skinner, left-hand dribble, switch to the right, into the lane. The floater is good. The teardrop from the sky.
Yes, we had a point guard in our women's game initially get a double-double. Skinny, he is on double-double watch right now. He finished that first point with 12 points, 5 assists. He currently has 14 points and 5 assists.
Z guarded by Bunn. Evans all the way out top. Finds Paulson. Z with it now. Right back to Paulson, I should say. Ball lost but saved for the Falcons. Alcindor there to...
I think that was a block.
It was definitely affected.
Yeah, he
on
affected
some
it.
level.
That happened. I don't know if he just was so scared of Alcindor, he turned around. So Alcindor can't get that one to go.
Good thing on one end. Should have been a good thing on the offensive end. 7-point lead for the Saints. 18-15 left. Number 2 versus number 3 in conference. Stepping on the end line, turning the ball over is Blackman. Saints ball.
I'll tell you what, the Saints bench is doing a really good job of helping out their defense. They come out, set up in that 2-3 zone with the elevated wings that's meant to prevent three-point shots. But the thing that Aaron Landon as well as Tyler Velasquez and Wesley Reynolds are doing are yelling out when they need to change it, when they need to invert it.
That's, again, 2-point blanks. Missed by Alcindor, but he stays with it and gets the putback.
Did he have a little bunny hop there? I don't know what.
Yeah, Grant Leap wanted that called and didn't get it.
Yeah, a jump ball or a travel, but it's kind of weird that they didn't go either way.
Alcindor on defense. Shot will not fall for Evans. Skinny the other way. Has the ball poked away. It'll be Saints basketball, 17-27 left.
Tell you what, we got a great crowd here for Thursday night. I want to get through this game, but Saturday night is going to be popping. For those that can make it, it's going to be a whiteout here, and it is number 1 versus number 2 in the conference. Despite the outcome of this game, it will be 2 heavyweights battling for the number 1 seed, essentially, in Bellingham.
Brandon Bunn calls his own number, 49-38 Saints.
1 or 2 more stops mixed with buckets. Might be time for a timeout from SPU. Ooh, that's a travel.
Largest lead of the game for St. Martin's is 11.
Yeah. If you're Grant Leap, you got to call a timeout if the Saints make a bucket here. Watch for that because it's all momentum.
16:55 and counting. You talked about it, Scott. Saturday night will be big on the men's side. And a great women's game as well as Kyle Greeley flexes his muscles.
Oh, yeah. That was strength. That was just releasing the shot right at the apex there and putting the perfect touch on it to get it to go home.
Largest lead of the game for St. Martin's. Can the Falcons get back in this one? Blackman for 3.
It's big. It's a big shot.
From 13, now they're down 10. Kyle Greeley for the Saints. Brandon Bunn from the parking lot. Was a good job of hitting the backboard.
Yeah, it was just a little bit off target.
Paulson, that one's closer, but no. Rebound to Stokes. Nielsen Skinner behind the back dribble. Skinny backs off. Brandon Bunn. Wanting Nielsen to screen. The little guy. Bunn. Nowhere to go. 7 to shoot. Bunn will. That's a 3. Think he had a little more concentration and form on that one?
Yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty. He gets into his mode.
Blackman to answer. No. Offensive rebound to the Falcons. Z will reset. 15-10 left in this GNAC battle. Z driving. The nice bounce pass in the lane. Evans with the bucket, 54-43 Saints.
I mean, I'm surprised we haven't seen a timeout from head coach Grant Leap. You got to call one eventually because the defense right now is allowing 3 after 3 and they're big shots from St. Martin's, but you still got to do something to calm the student section down if nothing else.
Stokes made that look easy. 14-point lead for St. Martin's. Evans backing down on Stokes. Anderson going baseline. Stops the jumper. Rims out.
That's
offensive rebound to the Falcons, but no, a foul is called.
Yeah, it was Trace Evans. He's just a little too aggressive on the board. Got to push in the back, good box out, and that'll send us to a break.
14:27 left. Timeout on the floor. Saints 57, Falcons 43. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. Back here inside Marcus Pavilion in Lacey, Washington, Sean Wally. Normally with Scott Gladstone, he's taking a breather. Tagged in a famous voice, a name many St. Martin's faithful know, the great Jeff Lucero. Jeff, great to see you, man.
Oh, Sean, thank you so much, man. This is great. Scott, great to have you both on the broadcast here. You guys are killing it. I've been tuning in as often as I can, and you guys are doing such a spectacular job on this thing. I can't say enough good things about the job you guys are doing. So it's very special to come back and get to hang out with you for a couple of minutes.
Well, for those that don't know, most of St. Martin's does for sure, and their fans. You were here 5.5 years on this broadcast, on other broadcasts for other sports, so you held things down here in Lacey.
It was a heck of a good time. It was a perfect time to latch onto this program too. There was glimpses that we saw in that halfway through that season when Coach Pribble was here, that you just saw how special things were going to be. And then those last 2 years that he was here, man, he got it rolling. Those squads were so good. And then the cabinet was a little bare when Coach Landon got here, but it has taken him no time at all. I mean, I knew what a special guy Aaron Landon was. I knew exactly what he was capable of doing. And it's beautiful. It's utterly beautiful to see how good this team is performing. They are elite. And as good as this team is this year, oh my gosh, Sean, they're going to be so freaking good next year. This is an electrifying team right now, but next year is going to be preposterous with this team.
Good things definitely happening here in the basketball world at St. Martin's. What are some of your best memories?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. Well, I'll tell you what. How about that buzzer beater from Kyle Greeley last year? Right about the same spot that he's standing in right now. Top of the key, straight on, buried it, game winner. On the women's side, for sure, the first time they broke through and beat Western Washington here, they lost 24 games in a row to Western, and they pulled the shocker that night. That was 3 years ago. Oh my goodness, that was a very special night to be inside Marcus Pavilion. Assistant coach Tierney DeDonis spiking the ball as the clock hit 0.
She's a firecracker, wasn't she?
Oh my gosh, she was something else, man. She was one of my all-time favorite student athletes, no question. So much grit, so much fire, a lot of guts, a lot of heart, and just an absolutely spectacular talent. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
What a pass.
Okay, so that dude right there is maybe the smartest basketball player I've ever seen. Jaden Nielsen Skinner on the floor, highest basketball IQ imaginable. It's child's play for him so often. That guy he just toys with the other team. You saw it right there. My goodness, he's so special. It's amazing to have him and Greeley come here, transfer together. The whole Salem connection. Mix in some Tyke Thompson.
Some high praise from Jeff Lucero. Highest IQ you've seen.
Maybe. I mean, who's smarter than that kid?
Look at that spin from Tyke.
Stop it. Unfair. That's just cruel. That's a level of cruelty seldom seen. My goodness.
Jeff, let's tug at your heartstrings just a little.
All right.
Unfortunately, we all know the last few weeks we lost Bob Grisham.
Yeah.
Not sure there was a nicer man on the planet.
You know, I can't stop thinking about it. Ever since I got the news that morning, it's just one of the cruelest, most devastating and heartbreaking things of my lifetime, honestly. Just knowing how much he was looking forward to. I mean, he loved this place. He gave everything he had. He gave every ounce, every cell in his body, he gave to St. Martin's. And no one deserved to ride off into that literal sunset down in Arizona like Bob Grisham. He had that coming. And to know that it was basically taken away from him the moment that he got down there it's just one of the cruelest, most mind-boggling. I'll never understand it, and I'll never quite forgive planet Earth for taking Bob away from us the way that all happened. It was
way too early.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he was just a ray of sunshine all the time. I always put a smile on my face. He was always in a good mood. It didn't matter what was happening around him. He was just so cool all the time. Just one of the nicest, just most laid back, easygoing dudes that you could ever come across, and just so smart. It was so fun to sit and just talk and hear his stories all the time. My goodness, he would just get rolling. It's so many amazing memories that he helped put together here while he was both the men's basketball coach and then as the athletic director as well. Man, he was just – there was no one like him. And it's gonna hurt. That hurt's never gonna go away for any of us. He was that kind of dude, and I miss him. I think about him almost from the time I wake up. It's gonna take a long time to kind of feel right again, knowing that he's not around any longer.
That's the voice of longtime Saints broadcaster Jeff Lucero. And if you're wondering why Jeff is no longer doing this on a regular basis here in Lacey, he has moved away, relocated to Salem, Oregon, taking his golden pipes south of the border.
Well, it was a nice first season so far. We've got one more broadcast coming up on Saturday for Willamette basketball. But it's nice. I mean, we got 3 Salem, and there's one of them right there, right on cue. How about that? Kyle Greeley, one of the 3 kids from Salem, playing for this team, like knocking down the mid-range jump shot just like he's so known for doing. Maybe it's the influence of Tyke Thompson, Skinny, and Kyle Greeley that, like, hey, Salem's not such a bad place. Why don't you check things out down there?
Saints by 20 as there's a foul under the basket. Looks like sending the Falcons to the line. And if you want to hear Jeff, see Jeff, you can find him doing public address at Oregon State University. You can still do things in the Tacoma area, make the commute, and of course, the big claim to fame, public address announcer for your Seattle Storm.
We're in for kind of a different type of season with the Storm going forward here.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah, it'll be very different. We'll see how things go.
Sue Bird retiring.
Yeah. I told McKenna Schultz, longtime point guard here for St. Martin's women's team, that her phone might ring sometime this week. There's like 4 people on the Storm roster right now, so maybe McKenna's going to get tapped in. She'll be playing for the Storm this season. I don't know, but.
And we've worked together Storm games going back to their days in Everett. Yeah. So what's that, 2-3 years now?
It has been, yeah. We're working on season number 3 upcoming here, so it's going to be a good time.
One way or another. Hopefully I'll be back around running cameras like I did last season.
How about this gym? I just love Marcus Pavilion so much. There's no place quite like this place. I love it. This is a special place to watch basketball. I hope that any of you that are local to the area, come on out and see these teams. That women's game tonight was spectacular. A 20-point victory for them. Men are putting up a similar result so far. Hope this one holds as well. This is a special place to watch some hoops. I would love to see the top bleachers come back out again. We got to get this place just filled with 1,700 people once again. Love to see that.
Have you seen that?
I have seen it.
Okay.
It's been a little while, but
so it is possible.
No, it
can happen.
It has and will happen again.
Absolutely. So, that'd be amazing, seeing this place that packed. 67-48 after the free throw. 10:44 remaining. SPU within 18. Sean Wally and special guest Jeff Lucero.
Speaking of special guests, we got a couple of them in the house too from last year's team. Brett Reed, Alex Schumacher, John Moore, all taken in the game over from behind the Saints bench.
They did make it. I talked to Alex yesterday at the Seattle U game where you were also, and he said he'd be here. So glad to see he's supporting the squad and seeing him run away with it.
Yeah, Coach Landon and Coach Velasquez and I went and picked up Brett at the airport. He was fresh off the plane when we went up to Seattle to watch the game last night. He had a very nice performance. Great to see a kid like Alex Schumacher succeeding at the next level. It's tough to do sometimes to make that jump from D2 to D1, but he has done it, and he's done it very, very well. He's the 3rd leading scorer on that team. He's going for about 12 a game. I mean, you saw it when he was here. He was just a ridiculous athlete, just a fierce competitor. And, it's really, really – I'm just so proud of that kid. He's done such a spectacular, just remarkable job making that jump.
A lot of St. Martin's ties at Seattle U. Back to a 20-point lead. 10:04 left in the second half. This game surprising because the first half was so tight, so close.
Yeah, it really was.
And now look at it.
Yep. We knew this Saints team was going to get it going. They're such a good shooting team. I mean, from the mid-range out, they just. And you guys got and then of course Skinny is like the best penetrator in the GNAC, maybe in all of Division II. I mean, that's just insane, right there. I mean, again, he's like batting. It's like a cat batting a ball of yarn around. You know, like it's all he's just toying with the other team so often.
Putting on display not only his speed, but that basketball IQ you talk so highly of. 9:20 and counting in this one. A battle of number 2 and number 3 in the GNAC. Tyke Thompson is fouled. 9:16 remaining.
One thing I've been so impressed, too, with Coach Landon since he got here, guys just continue to improve. Each year they're here, they just get better and better. Champ Spencer's a really good example. I mean, you saw it last year, but he didn't get a ton of minutes on last year's team, but getting more run this year, taking advantage of it. That guy's going to be a very special part of this program for the next couple of seasons as well.
Ball tapped out of bounds by Blackman. Saints basketball, they're up 20. You know, Jeff, a victory here tonight sets up a huge one on Saturday. Top in the conference, MSUB, Yellow Jackets.
I'm going to have to watch that one on tape delay. But yes, oh my goodness.
Kyle Greeley making it look easy underneath. Aaron Landon talking to the official in his ear. Well, you know where to find us on St. Martin's Athletics on YouTube.
That is going to be a great, great game. Y'all are in for quite a ride Saturday night. Get on out here. Come on out. Nobody wants to listen to us goofballs jabber on about basketball. Come on out. Support this team in person. Be 19-4 if they can hold on.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Offensive foul on Evans, his third. Jeff, great seeing you, man.
Of course,
Love having you here.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. This has been great. Really
Man.
appreciate you and Scott letting me come up here. And it's been a while since I strapped on a headset up here inside Marcus Pavilion. It's it means a lot to be able to come back here and hang out with you guys for a little bit of a stretch in the second half here. This has been really nice. Very special to me. Thank you again.
You're welcome anytime, man. You did this a lot longer than we have, and I've coined it the penthouse up here, man. You know, we're not down on the scorer's table with the close-up view, but we get a nice bird's-eye view here.
One of the things that I loved about working from up at this spot, though, is I like to move around. You know, sitting in the seat courtside, that's nice, but like being able to jump around a little bit, react to a couple of the bigger shots. When Kyle hit that shot last year, I just about fell over the railing. I lost my mind on that shot.
Wouldn't want you to fall over the railing. That could be dangerous. But a big shot indeed last year by Greeley. Saints up 20, and they get the ball back. Greeley walks it across half court. So Saturday you are doing a game of your own?
Willamette has senior day.
Okay.
We'll be taking on Pacific Lutheran.
Uh-oh.
So.
You know that PLU team, of course. 7:39 left. Timeout on the floor. Jeff, great talking to you. Great
Sean,
seeing
it's been
you.
a pleasure, bud.
Appreciate
Thank you so
it,
much.
man.
You guys, let's go Saints. Saints, Saints, Saints.
Jeff Lucero, ladies and gentlemen. Saints by 20. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. Back here in Marcus Pavilion, Sean Wally rejoined by Scott Gladstone. He took a little nap. Saints up 20, Scott.
I tuned into the MSUB game. The Saints currently keeping an eye on that one, wanting to know what happens there. And Western Oregon just took a 3-point lead with 3 minutes to go. We're not telling you to leave this broadcast and go there. We'll keep you updated on what happens there. Make sure the Saints see this one throw up 20 with 7.5 left.
Rouse to Blackman for Seattle Pacific. Open in the corner, the three with great rotation. Shaw Anderson, 74-57 Saints. Alcindor, left block. Goes up strong off glass. Rebounds to the Falcons. Inside 7 minutes left. Rouse for three. The Lacey native comes home, misses that shot. Skinny, nobody stops him.
Yeah, you yell. One of the first things you learn in a fast break is stop ball, stop ball, stop ball. One of the first things you learn as a point guard is when you get the ball and nobody stops the ball, take it all the way to the rack.
Easy money for Jordan Nielsen Skinner. 6:44 left. All Saints in the second half, 76-57. Back after this on the Saints Digital Network. .6:44 left. Saints running away with this in the second half. Sean Wally with Scott Gladstone. A battle of number 2 and number 3 in conference here in the GNEC. Saints currently in second place on the heels of MSUB, and they're in a hot contest down in Monmouth.
They just took the lead back. It's 58-57. Skinny going to have nobody to stop him. The update from this game really in the second half, it has just been, I mean, what we know of the Saints already. Skinny with 16, Greeley with 16, Hafner with 13, Bunn with 10, Thompson and Stokes right on the outside of double figures. They're at 9 and 8. As the only final we have from GNAC men's basketball right now is the one from north the border, as Alaska Anchorage beat Simon Fraser 58-51 in the Western Gym in Burnaby.
2:28 left in Bellingham. Western Washington, their men's basketball team, leading Alaska Fairbanks 82-76.
Yeah, and with this potential win that the Saints could pick up tonight here, up 20 with 6 minutes to go, with this win, I believe the math checks out, they would clinch their official spot in the GNAC tournament up in Bellingham at the beginning of March.
I will enjoy calling Saints games.
It'll be fun. Now, I mean, the next quest after clinching a spot officially is turning and making sure that you get that first round bye.
You're not playing Thursday, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Extra day of rest and preparation. 78-59 Saints. Blackman for three. Alcindor takes the rebound away from Greeley. Look at Shaquem throw it down.
That'll bring a gym to their feet. Man, he maybe got away with a wraparound hook with that left hand, but as soon as he gets that position, I believe it was Anderson on him, he was more than happy to put him on a poster.
With some quickness from Alcindor as well.
Yeah. I mean, and that's that explosive quickness. That's that, you know, he's a big dude, right? But it's that offensive lineman quickness. You need to take one or two power steps and explode through. And whew, man, I'm gonna have fun putting that one on our Instagram in the upcoming days.
5:03 left. 80-59 Saints. Stokes returns for the Saints. Alcindor to the bench. It's Ben Baker McCann at the line for Seattle Pacific.
I was watching Aaron Landon there, and you talked with Aaron and how he is as a guy and a coach. The thing is he's laid back, but he always tries to have this serious demeanor. I'll tell you what, Aaron said something to Shaquem about that dunk, and it got a little laugh out of Shaquem.
Nielsen Skinner hangs, gets the ball to fall. 21-point lead for St. Martin's.
Take a look around the GNAC. We mentioned MSUB, St. Martin's, and Seattle Pacific have kind of etched themselves as the top three teams. Between 4 and 9, there is 2 games of difference between those spots, with Northwest Nazarene sitting at 4 right now at 7 and 6. 4 and 8, of course, with an extra game in there, is Alaska Fairbanks as well as Alaska Anchorage. And I don't believe these are updated. Alaska Anchorage did get the win at Simon Fraser, so they're 5 and 8 now. But, man, it is a race for those final 2 spots. Western Washington, the host, they're in that battle. And so them coming up with a win, which it looks like they'll get, but 30 seconds left and a 5-point lead, you never know. It will be a barn burner, and also 6 seconds left and a 1-point MSUB lead down in Monmouth. They might barely escape by the skin of their teeth for like the 7th straight game that they've won by 1 possession. It's outstanding how good the Yellow Jackets are in close games.
Slightly surprised to see Nielsen Skinner and Kyle Greeley still in this ball game. Thompson for 3.
Yeah, I think for Aaron Landon, I think he is reveling in the chance to kind of run this up and make a statement and carry more momentum into their game against MSUB, which will be a showdown for first place in the GNAC. No matter what happens here, no matter what happens there.
Exactly 4 minutes left in this one. 85-66 Saints. Back after this with an update on the UAF Western Washington game and the MSUB Western Oregon game on the other side of the break on the Saints Digital Network. Out of the timeout, Saints basketball. They're up comfortably, 85-66. Sean Wally, Scott Gladstone. Saints in control. The number 2 team in the GNAC. A huge matchup on Saturday with the team currently in first place, the Yellow Jackets of MSUB.
Saints still got most of their kind of A-team out there.
Greeley, the jumper from the corner. 87-66, St. Martin's.
This has been a show offensively for the Saints. It felt like they haven't missed. Oh, that was a charge. No, they're going to call a block. But Christian Havner took a beating for that one. He took a hard hit. Whew. We're keeping our eye on this Western Oregon MSUB game, and looks like it might be free throws with a chance to win for Western Oregon with under a second left.
About half a second, possibly back on the clock. We have a final in Bellingham inside Carver Gym. Western Washington defeats UAF.
Yeah, 87-80 in that contest. We already mentioned SFU taking the loss against UAA. So that's a crucial loss for UAF. And they'll surely be in kind of must-win territory to keep pace with that pack at 4 through 8 or 4 through 9, as they're still figuring it out down there in Western Oregon what the situation is.
60-59 MSUB with potential free throws for Western Oregon. Here it's 87-68 in Lacey. Kyle Greeley is fouled. Count the basket. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, it wasn't a great press from SPU. It wasn't perfect, but it was a really great press break from SMU. I mean, that was just to perfection, and then, add insult to injury, truly, with the foul there in the and one. Kyle Greeley's not going to miss from there, even if you give him a hit on the way.
A 22-point lead for the Saints. Back comes St. Martin's. Nielsen Skinner. Behind the back to Thompson. Thompson wasn't even ready for it.
I mean, the Saints are having fun in the second half. They're essentially playing pickup ball, and that's what happens when you get up by 20 points. I mean, there was that beautiful, when you were talking to Jeff, there was a beautiful behind the back. And I'll tell you what, we're tuned to this Western Oregon game. Western Oregon they gifted MSUB another chance. They missed one free throw at the line, missed the first free throw, and made the second, so they're going to overtime over in Monmouth.
No pressure when you miss the first. You have to hit the second to tie the game.
Yeah.
But they did that. Nice spin in the lane. Back to a 20-point lead for St. Martin's.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy when at some point we're going to look at the numbers and see how the average margin of victory for the Saints, both them and MSUB are red hot. The difference is MSUB, they continuously win games like they're playing this game right here. Close. You can make one argument as we get an and one there. You can make one argument that they kind of play down to their competition. That's one way to look at it. But at the same time, they don't play a style, and this is what Aaron Landon, sees clear as day. They don't play a style that really is made for running up the score. They play slow. They'll play lockdown defense. They make the buckets they need to make, and that's the big thing they do. They do it so well. But if you lose against Western Oregon down in Monmouth, then maybe it's not so great.
90-72 Saints, a comfortable lead and the basketball. Foul on the floor. 2:02 remaining.
I'm still surprised that Aaron Landon has his starters in here.
Right?
They're up 18 with 2:02 left. We saw Nate Stokes pick up a little bit of a knock on that last rebound, and he got subbed out right after. It should be okay, but that's the thing, as that's a great inbounds play, perfectly drawn up. And yeah, this is convincing. And no matter what happens down in Monmouth, it's going to be different momentum-wise for for MSUB, as they're not going to have a ton of momentum, even if they do get a win.
Ben Baker McCann, another bucket down low for the Falcons. 92-74 Saints. 90 seconds remaining in this GNAC battle. But for the majority of the second half has been all Saints. Nielsen Skinner still going like the Energizer Bunny.
There are times when he seems like he has that ball on a string. I mean, it's just incredible.
Alcindor, the rebound. Skinny into the lane. The bounce pass to Thompson.
Double-double officially for Jaden Nielsen Skinner, 22 and 10.
Alcindor just jumps over everybody.
Yeah.
Skinny, jumper, no. 40 seconds left. Rouse, the nice Euro. 94-76 Saints.
Yeah, Saints will run it down to about 5 on the shot clock. Maybe put something up, they maybe won't. But we invite you at the conclusion of this one to stick around for the interview, or at least keep it open on one tab. But man, if you love GNAC basketball, you should also keep an eye on what's happening down in Monmouth. They're playing in overtime.
Saints faithful starting to clap as the final seconds tick down. 5 seconds. Oh, shock. I was like, why is the buzzer sounding? There's 5 seconds left.
Yeah.
Shot clock.
And they did a funny thing there. They don't realize a shot clock violation goes as a team turnover. A lot of players think that it goes as whoever has it when the shot clock expires. So that was kind of a stat thing where you saw him play hot potato at the end of the shot clock, and that's why. And then all the guards think it, and then Shaquem, who doesn't really care if he has a couple turnovers, just grabs it last and flips it over his head back to the referee. That was, a good lighthearted moment at the end of a 18-point victory.
Final 5 seconds of this one. Rouse, a 3. Alcindor wraps up the victory. Saints improved to 19-4 overall, 11-2 in conference. Seattle Pacific falls to 14-9 overall, 9-5 in conference. Your thoughts, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, this was something we saw the Saints get punched in the mouth early in this game. I mean, it was a 10-point lead for SPU with about 10 minutes left, and that's when the Saints turned it on. And it's credit to the players, of course, but I think also credit to Aaron Landon. He said, let's calm it down, let's slow it down, let's stop shooting threes. They're not falling for us today. That's the game of basketball. And you turn around, throw it down low, take advantage of a mismatch, and shoot high percentage shots from, 10 feet away rather than, shooting it from behind the arc if it's not going. So that's exactly what they did. And next thing you know, they were winning. And then they ran away with it. So it worked out really well. And second half, they just had fun. And there was never a moment in the second half, really, where this game was in doubt.
Stay with us. We'll have Coach Aaron Landon and probably one of his winning players right after this on the Saints Digital Network. Here post-game with head coach Aaron Landon of the Saints. Big 94-76 win over Seattle Pacific. What happened in the second half to turn the tide?
I didn't think it was the second half. I thought it was the last 10 minutes of the first half. We gave up 25 points in like the first 10 minutes. Had to regroup. We weren't sticking to a really specific plan that we had worked on all week. That plan belongs to Tyler, a little bit outside the box. So it was probably a mix of discomfort doing something new and just some nerves because that's a really, really good offensive team, and they punish you on every single mistake that you make. Once we were able to regroup, the last 10 minutes of the first half, I mean, we gave up 10 points. And so that's when it started. You know, the second half, you separate, and offense looks a little bit better. But for me, it was all about the final 10 minutes of the first half, just as far as defending them.
Coach, enjoy this one. You've got a big one on Saturday, but time to enjoy this one for at least a little bit. Let's get your...
Yeah. I'll tell you this. My family, I'm sure, is listening right now. 2 reasons. We knew that this was a game we were going to play a ton of man-to-man D. Tyler schemes all of our man-to-man stuff defensively. And then on top of that, I had my wife was at a huge work event in Dallas. I was here, on Monday and Tuesday. But I wasn't burning the midnight oil, or I was, but it was handling bedtimes for 2 young girls. And, he worked his tail off, put together a great game plan. We really, got into that, and guys bought in. Didn't show up the first 10 minutes, but that last 30, we were great. That's one of the best shooting teams in the country. Held them to 22%. So that's the stud that put that plan together. Talk to him. I'll explain how it works.
Impressive. There goes head coach Aaron Landon as we welcome in assistant coach Tyler Velasquez. (94-76) victory for St. Martin's. As Tyler Velasquez gets set to come on over and say a few words about this game here this evening. Coach, congratulations on the victory.
Appreciate it.
I heard things were a little different with the game plan, and you were highly involved.
Yeah, it was, we've been talking about defense for, it seems like, 2 months now. That's if you've watched us play, we can score the ball. When we can hold teams in the 70s and under, then we can do really, really good things. So this week we spent basically our whole week just going over our defensive coverages, not letting guys off the hook, and just coaching our guys super hard. And they did a really, really amazing job. They had me frustrated for that first 10 minutes, but they bounced back, and they were amazing tonight.
What changed in that second 10 minutes of the first half?
The second 10 minutes, we were just a lot more aggressive with what we were doing. Just our rotations and our coverages. The first 10 minutes, we were just sort of hesitant. And so, from that point on, that's it. Just more aggressive.
How much time do you guys get to enjoy this one? You've got a big game coming up Saturday night.
Yeah, just tonight.
Okay.
I mean, they can enjoy it tonight. But we have – these guys have set such high standards and goals for themselves that's all we can allow. And that's all they want to allow themselves is enjoy the moment, take a moment, enjoy the win, but then we got to be right back to it tomorrow. So
sleep on it and get back to work. The big one on Saturday night now is MSUB. The Yellow Jackets will be in town. They're in overtime currently down in Monmouth, so a good game going there. We'll see what happens with that one. But whether they win or lose tonight, still a huge game for the conference.
Yeah, big-time matchup. Number 1 and number 2 in conference as of right now. And, we're super, super excited. They're a really, really good team, super well coached. They're a tough team.
What's one of the biggest things you've learned from Coach Landon?
Oh, man. That's a loaded question. I've learned so much from Aaron. He's my mentor. He's had me under his wing since I've been in college coaching. So I've learned a ton. I think the biggest thing that I just think he's really, really good with handling a program and just everything that comes with how you coach players, how you can connect to them, relationship type stuff. I would say that's something that he does a really, really fantastic job of. And the basketball stuff, you can just tell because the outside of the game time, most fans watch the game and that's what they see. People don't see behind the scenes.
Right.
And so that's a reflection of Aaron. That performance and that win, he's done a fantastic job building this program. I don't think he doesn't get enough recognition with where he's brought St. Martin's since he got the job till
right.
now in such a short period of time. All the things he's accomplished, and all of the barriers he's had to overcome. It's just amazing. I don't think he gets enough recognition that he deserves.
It's nice to hear. He mentioned that he had some at-home duties, some family duties with his wife out of town earlier this week. To know that he's not just a basketball coach, there's more to it than that, right?
Way more to it. I mean, as a coach, if you're not a people person, it doesn't matter what you do X's and O's wise. You got to be able to handle people at the end of the day and young adults, and that's what Aaron's elite at. I mean, he knows how to manage guys. He knows how to put them in really good situations living-wise so that they can be successful where they're at. And that's, like I said, this is a reflection of everything he's done off the court.
Awesome. Enjoy this one. Saints 94, Falcons 76. Tyler, thanks for your time tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We'll see you Saturday night.
All right, take care.
Saints prevail tonight over Seattle Pacific, number 2 versus number 3 here in the GNAC, and will await MSUB. The Yellow Jackets are in overtime with Western Oregon right now, so they'll be here Saturday night. Be sure to check out that game. We'll be here, myself, Scott Gladstone, Sydney, and, of course, Zane running the camera for that big matchup, 7:30 for that one. Women's game first at 5:15. Join us for both. If you can't be here inside Marcus Pavilion, you can watch us all the time on Saints Digital Network.